Today we are discussing the topic speed, distance and time. That means moving locomotive related questions. Train problem, boat and stream problem all comes under this. But CSIR have asked from different areas. So typically learning as trains, boat and stream, that is not what we are doing. We are doing get an idea about all the type of problem. Because if you count the boat and stream problem, they have asked directly only one time, indirectly one time. In CSIR-NET, those kinds of questions are asked less. So I will show you a total idea, speed, distance and time related questions, what all will come. So in this chapter you should have the basic idea what is speed, how to find speed, distance by time that you learned in school days itself, and sometimes you need time, so that will be distance by speed. Sometimes you need distance, so that will be speed into time. Yeah, once you know speed equal to distance by time, you can rearrange it for sure. This triangle is actually something to remember that thing. If you are forgetting it soon, if you want to understand it without by hearting, you can learn this triangle. DST, distance will be speed into time. If you are confused whether it is speed by time or time by speed, it is very clear, speed into time, because this is in the same level. But if it is time, second case, distance by speed, because here the triangle also looks like that, now D by S. And if it is speed, that will be distance by time. So that way you can remember. And this idea also is useful, average speed equal to total distance by total time. Sometimes you have to find average speed, there you cannot do speed plus speed by 2, that is totally wrong. CSIR also asked this to check whether you are doing like that. It is total distance by total time, or if the distance are same, you can use this formula. If the distance of two different travels are same, average speed among them will be 2 S1 S2 divided by S1 plus S2, where S1 and S2 are the two different speeds. And you should be familiar with the unit conversion you learned in school days. Kilometer per hour to meter per second, that may be needed in many questions. So 1 kilometer per hour is 5 by 18 meter per second. Again, no need to by heart that. Kilometer per hour means kilometer by hour. You have to convert that into meter per second, means kilometer converted to meter, 1000 meter. Hour converted to second, 1 hour is 60 minutes, every minute is 60 seconds. So 60 into 60 seconds. So cancelling it, you are getting 10 by 36, that is 5 by 18. That is how you are deriving this conversion factor of 5 by 18. Once you know kilometer per hour to meter per second is 5 by 18, the other way around, meter per second to kilometer per hour will be 18 by 5. So that also remember. And in typical train problems, this is the scenario in most of the question. Question will be telling something about time taken to cross. Time taken to cross means total length to be covered divided by relative speed. That also you have learned in school days. According to that, there are 6 different types that is possible in train problem. Depending upon the nature of the second object means the object, the first object or train is trying to cross. There are 6 cases. These are the 6 cases. The second object may be stationary. Stationary means not moving. Not moving case itself, there are 2 possibilities, when it is having some length or when it is not having any length. For example, train crossing an electric post. Electric post is not moving, so it is stationary. There, but the width of the electric post is so thin, that is the meaning of negligible length. It is so thin that you can consider it as zero. That is why the distance to be covered will be only length of the train, because for the train to cross means total length of the train should cross the width of the post. That means as the width of the post we are considering it as 0, as the train is so long compared to the width of the post, you can say length of the train L divided by speed of train, because second object is not moving, so only speed of train matters. So L by S, length of train divided by speed of train, will be the formula there. You don't have to learn it as separate formula, just time is equal to distance by speed itself we are applying. But depending upon distance and speed, 6 cases are possible. Second case is when second object is having some length. This is the most important case because most number of questions are asked from this Second case. When second object is stationary but it is having some length, like train crossing a bridge or train crossing a platform. In that case, total length to be covered, distance by speed is the formula, but total distance to be covered will be total length of the train also, total length of the platform also added, because crossing means like this. Total length should be crossed. So length of platform is also needed, length of train also is needed, because total length of train should be crossed. I will show you a question so that you will get a clarity. June 2017 CSIR-NET question paper. This was there. All of you make an attempt. A long, 100-meter long train crosses 200-meter long bridge in 20 seconds. That means you can denote the scenario like this. A train is trying to cross the bridge. So the length of the train is 100. Crossing means the total length of the bridge 200 meters should be crossed. This is not crossing. Please let me explain this to all of you. This is not crossing. Please understand that. Crossing means it should cross like this. Fully the length of the train should cross. That is why I am saying length of the bridge plus length of the train also should be added. So the length to be covered is 200 meter plus 100 meter, or think from the perspective of the driver inside the train. When the driver reaches here, driver have to travel this much. Then the driver have to travel this much also. Then only the train will be crossing the bridge. For example, I will tell a hypothetical situation. When the bridge is broken. So for the train to be safe, the train should cross the bridge. Cross the bridge means no part of the train should be on the bridge. That means total length should be crossed. That is the meaning. So that is why total distance to be covered is 200 plus 100, train length plus bridge length, 300 meter. Time taken is 20 seconds. Now, if you remember, in the question there was something more. Width of the bridge is given. Width of the bridge. Why it is given? Just to confuse you. That is an irrelevant data. Width of the bridge does not matter in the question, because whatever be the width of the bridge, the train only have to cross the length of the bridge. Na? So whether it is 20 meter or 30 meter or 40 meter or 50 meter, whatever be the width, that does not matter. So the speed is the question. Speed is equal to distance 300 meter divided by time 20 seconds. So 300 by 20 meter per second. 300 by 20 is going to be 15 meter per second. But if you look at the answer option is in kilometer per hour. That is where the conversion factor you learned in school days will come into play. So meter per second to kilometer per hour, that is why 18 by 5 you have to multiply. You will get 54 kilometer per hour. That is the answer. So that is the second case. I hope all of you understood second case what it is. This second case is asked multiple number of times. I will show you one more question where it is not a train problem, it is a normal vehicle problem, a car crossing a truck. Try this question also, all of you. At least read the question, then I will start explaining. So I will start explaining. A 3 meter long car goes past a 4 meter long truck. So car crossing means like this. From here, the car is completely crossing the length of the truck. Truck is stationary. That means it is the same type as we discussed now. Truck is stationary. So the distance to be covered is 4 meter of the truck plus 3 meter of the car. So obvious a question, na? So 4 meter plus 3 meter, 7 meter should be covered. And the relative speed. Yeah, here the relative speed you don't have to worry at all, because this truck is stationary. As truck is stationary, relative speed is not there. That is why in the second case, total distance by only the speed of the first object. So 7 meter by 7 meter by 7 meter per second, 1 second. Again briefly summarizing what I told, 4 meter car crossing, 3 meter car crossing 4 meter truck. Crossing means like this. So the total length to be covered is 4 meter plus 3 meter, 7 meter. Distance equal to 7 meter. Speed is equal to 7 meter per second. 7 meter per second itself finishes the question. Na? 7 meter per second means 7 meter in 1 second. Question is asking 7 meter in how many seconds? 7 meter in 1 second, so option B is the answer. Try to come out of the habit of writing unnecessary steps. Here you don't have to do distance equal to, time is equal to distance by speed. When you see the speed and distance itself, you should understand 1 will be the answer. 7 meter in 1 second. We want to travel 7 meters, so it need 1 second. So time taken will be 1 second itself. So anyway, that also is clear, I guess. So that is also second case itself. When first object is trying to cross second object, and second object is stationary but it is having some length. One more question I will show of the same type. Okay, so start explaining. A train running at 36 km per hour crosses a mark on the platform in 8 seconds and take 20 seconds to cross the platform. So there are two situations. Let's separately analyze it. After teaching you separately analyzing method, then I will tell you a shortcut method which will do the solution faster. So here a train length is there, we don't know that length, so the length of the train be x and the length of the platform be p. We want to find the length of the platform. Remember that p is our required unknown. So question is saying that it takes 20 seconds for the train to cross the platform. Just like the previous two questions, train crossing the platform means total length of the train should cross total length of the platform. So time equal to distance by speed. Distance equal to what? X plus p, total distance divided by speed. Speed is speed of the train. But one thing you should remember, this is in kilometer per hour, this is in seconds, this is in seconds, answer are in meter. So first we will convert 36 km per hour into meter per second by multiplying by 5 by 18. That means 10 meter per second, 10 meter per second. Now you can directly substitute 10 here. And we know the time is 20 seconds, so t is equal to 20 you can substitute. That means while simplifying you will get x plus p equal to 200. X plus p equal to 200 we got. X plus p equal to 200 means we got one equation. Still x is unknown to us, we need one more equation. That equation you can form from the second scenario. What is the second scenario? Second scenario is when the train is trying to cross only one point in the platform. We will analyze that separately now. One point in the platform means now the platform is not important. Train trying to cross a point in the platform. That means this is type 1. I told you train trying to cross an electric post, like that situation, because the second object is negligible width. That is 0. You can consider it as 0. Train crossing the point in the platform means this is the scenario. Distance to be covered is only the distance equal to only the distance length of the train. That means x length of the train only should be covered. That means second scenario 8 seconds is taken to cross a mark on the platform. That means 8 is equal to, time is equal to distance by speed. Distance x by speed is 10 meter per second itself, because the mark on the platform is not moving. So only train speed matters. So cross multiplying you will get x equal to 80. X equal to 80 means substitute it in the first equation. 80 plus p is equal to 200. 80 plus p equal to 200 means p is equal to 120 you will get. Platform length will be 120 by x equal to 80 and the first equation we formed. I hope that is clear to all of you. That is one way of doing it, and I will tell you a faster way of doing it. Anyway, 36 km per hour is 10 meter per second. Faster way of doing this question is, think only from the perspective of the platform, or think like this. Train is trying to cross the mark on the platform. For that 8 seconds it took. Crossing the mark on the platform, as I told, only distance of the train is crossed. But to cross platform completely, 20 seconds were needed. For that, what extra should be covered? Length of the train should be covered here also. but length of the platform also should be covered. That means comparing this and this, the only difference is length of the platform. That means the extra time taken is to cover the platform length. Extra time means what? 8 seconds here, here 20 seconds. That means there is an extra of 12 seconds taking. 20 minus 8, 12 seconds. That 12 seconds is the time to cross the length of the platform only. Forget about length of the train. Length of the platform is our required unknown P. That means in 12 seconds the distance covered is P, not X, because X was there in both the scenarios. Here the distance covered is only P, and the time taken is also given. Speed also we know, platform is still not moving. Speed is 10 meter per second after conversion. Now directly apply this. Distance equal to speed into time. Speed into time means speed 10 meter per second into time. 10 into 12, 120 meter. This is the shortcut method or faster way of doing this question. Both method will give you the answer 120 meter itself. So this is the significance of what I taught you, the different types. Mainly these first two types were repeatedly asked in CSIR-NET exam. Type 1, type 2. These types are also there. I will explain that type when the situation comes. So you people can go through it for better understanding. Briefly I will mention it and go to the next question. So other types are when second object is also moving. Second object moving also, negligible length, some length case, two cases are there. Negligible length case, then some length case. Negligible length case means what? For example, look at this, train crossing a running man. A train is trying to cross a running man. There the man is also moving. Again, man moving, there are two possibilities. Whether the man is moving in same direction, whether the man is moving in opposite direction. When it is same direction, the train is trying to cross the man, but the man is going away from the train. That means the man is actually trying to reduce the relative speed of the train. So remember this, when it is same direction, speed should be subtracted, S1 minus S2. This is a common mistake many students do. They think same direction means speed should be added up. No. It's a very simple logic, but don't make mistake in this. That is why I am emphasizing this simple logic. It is speed of train minus speed of object, not plus. It will be plus when it is opposite direction, because for example a train is there and a human being is running in opposite direction like this. Train is trying to cross this and the human being is supporting it by moving more and more towards the intention of the train. Intention of the train is trying to cross this person, and the man is also supporting it. Supporting it means speed will add up, time will be less. Speed will add up means denominator increases, so time will be less for sure. So same direction, subtraction, opposite direction, add up. Next two cases are actually the extension of this itself. When second object also has some length, that is the case. When second object also has some length. For example, train crossing another train. If it is in same direction, speed will be subtracted. If it is opposite direction, speed will be added up. But remember, as a second object also have length, train crossing another train means if this is L1, this is L2, total length to be covered is L1 plus L2. Distance is L1 plus L2, not L1 only. Because the train should cover the entire train length, just like train crossing platform. Their platform does not have speed. Here second train has speed, that's the only thing. For example, the question we did, the car is trying to cross a stationary truck. If the truck was also moving, this will be the type. Same direction, truck moving. So the speed of the truck also should be considered. So that are the 6 cases. Again, that much explanation will be enough, because as I told, first two types are repeatedly asked. Train problem, how they twist the situation is like this. Try this question, June 2014 CSIR-NET problem. Okay, I'll start explaining. So there is a train of length 500 meter. So like this, and the train want to cross, there is a person in the platform. When the person in the rear end of the train, there is a person in the rear end means back end. When this person sees this man, he do a very strange thing. What is the thing? He move to and fro of the train. To and fro of the train means he move like this, move like this, move like this. That is the movement. Once he sees this man. So after 30 minutes, what happens, or how much distance the person is away from the person? That is the question. Not train away from the observer, person away from the observer. There is an observer in the platform, stationary observer on the platform. This man inside the train, how much he is away from the observer is the question. That means, if this is the position of the observer, the platform does not matter at all, let me tell you that. Only the observer on the platform matters. So when this observer, the person inside the train is in the rear end. Rear end means back end. So this is when the situation starts. From here 30 minutes. 30 minutes means half an hour obviously. That means, this question, the easy way is, think of a situation when the person inside the train is not doing this unusual thing. Because if you think that also, I mean, if you think the person's movement inside the train also, it will be difficult to analyze. So it is better first to think without considering the person inside the train. Only think about the train itself instead of the person inside the train. In 30 minutes, where will be the train? The speed of the train is 80 km per hour. As I told, try to logically think, don't write half into 80 is 40 km. That is the distance. Logically think, 80 km per hour means 80 km the train can travel in 1 hour. So in half hour 40 km you can logically say that. That means after half hour the train will be somewhere here, that this distance is 40 km. That is the meaning. The train is 40 km away from the person in the platform. But the problem is 40 is not the answer, because question is not asking how much the train is away. Question is asking how much the person inside the train is. So now you have to consider about the person's movement inside the train. Person is moving at the speed of 3 km per hour. 3 km per hour means in 1 hour 3 km. So in half hour 1.5 km. Are you understanding that? 1.5 km in half hour. 1.5 km you can write it in meter as 1500 meter. 1500 meter he will travel in this half an hour inside the train. But that movement is like this, 500 meter forward, because the length of the train is only 500 meter. 500 meter he will reach the front end of the train, then 500 meter backward, because question says to and fro movement. So 500 plus 500, 1000 meter over, total 1500 meter only he can travel. One more 500 meter. One more 500 meter means he will reach the front end of the train. So that is what we have understood. The person will meet the front end of the train. Person will reach the front end of the train. Now front end of the train is 500 meter away from the back end of the train. Na? Back end of the train is 40 km away from the observer. So for 40 km plus 500 meter, 500 meter is 0.5 km. So 40.5 km is the answer. This is how they ask the question in a twisted way. If you analyze it logically, it is not very difficult. Let's try another question where moving locomotives are not there, people are moving. The distance from Nehru Nagar to Gandhi Nagar is 27 km. So this is Nehru Nagar, this is Gandhi Nagar, you can assume. Or look at this picture. There is Nehru Nagar, there is Gandhi Nagar. They are 27 km apart. Two people are starting their journey from Nehru Nagar, moving in this direction. But one person is faster, that he travels till Gandhi Nagar and returns back. But the other slower person, by the time he reach here, the other person also reach here. That place is called Indira Nagar. Yeah, I will explain that in detail. A and B start walking from Nehru Nagar towards Gandhi Nagar at speed of 5 km per hour. A is moving at 5 km per hour, B is moving at 7 km per hour. So B is traveling faster means B will travel more distance in the given time. B travels till Gandhi Nagar, that means B travels like this, reaches Gandhi Nagar, returns immediately and come back, and when he is returning back, the place where he meet A, that place name is called Indira Nagar. Place where he meet A means A was moving how? A only travel from Nehru Nagar to Indira Nagar like this. This is the movement of A. But as B was faster, B could reach Gandhi Nagar and reach back at Indira Nagar. So what you understood? The time taken is same for both. Time taken for A to reach Indira Nagar, time taken for B to reach Indira Nagar is same, because that is what the question says. The meeting place is called Indira Nagar. That means time taken to reach there is same now. If so, what is the distance between Nehru Nagar and Indira Nagar? Nehru Nagar and Indira Nagar means, question is asking nothing but the distance travelled by A, because A is travelling from Nehru Nagar to Indira Nagar. So our required unknown X we can say is the distance travelled by A. How much distance A travelled? This question you can do mathematically also, this question you can do logically also. First I will explain the mathematical solution, then I will explain the fastest logical solution also. Mathematical solution is, as I told, time taken by A and time taken by B are equal. Time taken by A is equal to time taken by B. So time taken by A we will analyze. Time is equal to distance by speed obviously. Here as it is human beings, length of the object does not matter. So time taken by A will be how much? Distance of A. Distance of A is what we are assuming it as x. Divided by speed of A is 5 km per hour. So x by 5. That is equal to time taken by B. Now we will think from the perspective of B. Distance traveled by B you should understand. Question says Nehru Nagar to Gandhi Nagar distance is 27 km. And again he travelled this much kilometer extra. That means that is nothing but 27 minus x. Why? Total is 27, this much is x means remaining can be written as 27 minus x. To avoid extra unknowns involving, I am writing it as 27 minus x. That means total distance travelled by B will be 27 km from Nehru Nagar to Gandhi Nagar, 27 minus x km from Gandhi Nagar to Indira Nagar return journey. So that is the total distance travelled by B. Divided by speed of B is 7 km per hour. So divided by 7. As time is same, you equated this. Now just simplify this, you will get the answer. Cross multiply it, simplify it. 7x equal to 5 times 54 minus x you will get. When you simplify, you are going to get 12x equal to 270. X is equal to 270 by 12. X is equal to 22.5 you will get after simplifying. So option B, 22.5 is the answer. This is the mathematical solution. Now this will take some time to form the equation also, to solve the equation also. There is much faster method in doing this question. Listen very carefully. The faster solution is, you just think, instead of formula, you just think about what is happening here with respect to the speed of both the people. You can think like that. I will show you. That logical solution is this. Think from the perspective of A, or we will start from the perspective of B. That will be faster because B is moving faster. So Nehru Nagar, Gandhi Nagar. B is travelling from Nehru Nagar to Gandhi Nagar means already 27 km completed. Then B is travelling back, how much we don't know. That means we are 100% sure that distance travelled by B is about 27 km. 27 plus. We understood it is more than 27. And speed of B is 7 km per hour. 7 km per hour means 7 km in 1 hour. Think from that perspective. 7 kilometer in 1 hour. So we will analyze B's situation. 1 hour B will travel, 1 hour B will travel 7 kilometer. Na? That is the meaning of 7 kilometer per hour. 2 hour 14 kilometer obviously. Just to make you understand the logical solution, I am writing this down. You can directly reach 3 hour actually. 3 hour 21 kilometer. 3 hour 21 kilometer means we know that distance traveled by B is 27 kilometer or more than that, or confirm it is more than that, because B on the return journey is meeting A in the Indira Nagar, that means Nehru Nagar to Gandhi Nagar, in between some point. As D is traveling 27 above kilometer, D have traveled more than 3 hour. That is for sure, because by 3 hour he can only reach 21 kilometer. That is not even reaching Nehru Nagar, sorry, Gandhi Nagar. So to reach Gandhi Nagar itself, it needs more than 3 hour. 4 hour means 28 kilometer. That we don't know whether 28 kilometer is passed or not right now. That means one thing we can surely say, that B travelled more than 3 hour. 3 hour above, B have confirmed travel. B travelled 3 hour above means A also travelled 3 hour above. Na? Why? Because they took the same time to reach the point Indira Nagar. That means A also travelled more than 3 hours. That is the catch point here. A travelled above 3 hours. A travelled above 3 hours with a speed of 5 km per hour. That means 1 hour A can travel 5 km. That is the meaning of 5 km per hour. 2 hours A can travel 10 km. That means A have travelled more than 2 hours. 3 hours A can travel 15 km. That means A have travelled more than 15 km, because we know that more than for 3 hours both of them have travelled. That means distance travelled by A is our question, because Nehru Nagar to Indira Nagar is the distance travelled by A. That is a required unknown. So required unknown will be above 15 km for sure. Above 15 means these two options are eliminated, na? And it is not a coincidence. They have purposefully given the options like this, so that you can use the logical idea rather than the mathematical formulas. So option D is the only possible answer, because option D is the only answer above 15 km. If the options were tougher also, there are logical methods to extend this. You can think 4 hours what happens, 4.5 hours what happens, and you can decide that in 4.5 hours they will meet. Okay, that is not needed in this question. That is why I am stopping it here. Option B will be the answer. This is what I was explaining. Movement of B. In 1 hour, A 5 km, B 7 km. 2 hours, this is the case. 3 hours, this is the case. 4 hours, this is the case. This way you can logically interpret it. Due to lack of time, I am directly going to the next question. Let's try the next question. All of you try it. This is another way they can ask speed, distance, time related problem. Video is not there. 1 second, 1 second. Sorry, I didn't see it. I will. Two persons A and B start walking in opposite direction from a point. Opposite direction means A may be moving like this, B may be moving like this. A travels twice as fast as B. Twice as fast as B means by the same time A can travel double the distance. And B travels at 1 km per hour means we understood the speed of B and A. B's speed is 1 km per hour. A speed is double of it, 2 km per hour. That much is given in the question. If A travels 2 km and turns back and start walking towards B, at what distance from the starting point will A cross B? A crossing B is the case. So after traveling 2 km, that means if A travel 2 km, at the same time B will travel 1 km. Na? If O is the starting point, A travel to this direction 2 km, B travel to this direction 1 km. I hope that is clear to all of you. That means in effect they are 3 km apart. They are 3 km apart. Now A decides that A will turn back and start walking towards B so that he can meet B. We will consider, as the speed is in kilometer per hour, 1 hour travel, just like the previous question. So 3 kilometers should be travelled. Now A travelling 1 hour means 2 kilometers it will travel, like this, 2 kilometers, because 2 kilometers per hour is the speed of A. But unfortunately B will not stay there. B will also jump, or B will also move forward. How much kilometer forward? 1 kilometer, because 1 kilometer per hour. So if you consider the next 1 hour, B will be here. That means A is at the starting point itself. Still they are 2 kilometers apart. I am logically analyzing this. So now, right now this is the position. A is here, but B is 2 kilometers away. In the next 1 hour, what will happen? A will travel 2 kilometers in the next 1 hour. But unfortunately, B travels 1 more kilometer ahead. So still A could not reach the position of B. So definitely A will try 1 more hour. Next hour, what will happen? A will travel 2 kilometers. B will also travel 1 kilometer, and that is exactly where A and B should reach. A should meet B, or A should cross B, na? As both are human beings itself, crossing means meeting itself. That means they are meeting 2 kilometers, 1 more 2 kilometers after only they are meeting. So this is the point they are meeting. Now the question, please understand, question is not asking total distance traveled by A or total distance traveled by B. Question is only asking how much this distance is away from the starting point. Starting point is O, na? From the starting point, if you think from the perspective of B, 1 kilometer, 1 kilometer, 1 kilometer, 1 kilometer, total 4 kilometer. Or if you consider this is 2 kilometer, 2 kilometer, total 4 kilometer is the answer. This is how to analyze it. There are mathematical ways, but this analysis may be more easier and more you can remember this solution. So next question, similar to previous question, little more simple than the previous question if you are understanding the geometry correctly. So make an attempt. So two runners A and B start running from diametrically opposite points. Diametrically opposite point means endpoints of a diameter, like something like this. A from here, B from here. In a circular track in the same direction. Same direction means you can just assume it is clockwise direction, just for a standard. I am just fixing it as clockwise direction like this. Both are moving clockwise. That's the meaning of same direction. If A runs at a constant speed of 8 km per hour and B at a constant speed of 6 km per hour, A catches up with B. So here the objective is again A catching up with B. A speed is 8 km per hour. B speed is 6 km per hour. And the question says that the time taken by them is actually, time taken is 30 minutes means half hour. I will just write half hour as everything is in kilometer and hour, half hour. Half hour A is catching up with B means the distance A need to cover relatively is this length, na? This length is nothing but this half of the circumference of the circle. Half of the circumference of the circle. So our required unknown is what? What is the length of the track? The relative distance A should cover to achieve this target of catching up with B is half of the track, half the length of the track. So the full length of the track will be nothing but, if this is x, 2x will be the full length of the track. That means what you need to find is 2x. If x is the distance to be traveled by A to catch B, relative distance, not distance, relative distance, because distance means as B is traveling ahead, A is traveling more. But the relative distance be x, and x is nothing but half of the circle, half of the circumference of the circle. If so, first of all, let's think about as they are moving in same direction. Forget about the circle now. Think that they are moving in a straight line so that you will get a clarity. A is here, B is x distance away from A, and Speed of A is 8 km per hour, speed of B is 6 km per hour. So the relative speed will be 8 minus 6. Why 8 minus 6? Because they are moving in the same direction. 8 minus 6 means 2 km per hour. 2 km per hour will be the relative speed of A to cross B. 2 km per hour means that itself finishes the case. 2 km per hour. So in half hour 1 km can be traveled, na? Or 2 into half 1 km. If you want to write it in distance, write it in as a formula. So time is equal to half hour, speed is equal to 2 km per hour means distance equal to speed into time. Speed into time means 2 km into half hour. That means 2 km into half hour is 1 km. What is this 1 km? Distance is our x. X is 1 km. X is half of the circle. So the length of the track is not x. Length of the track is full circle. That means 2x. So the length of the track will be 1 km plus one more 1 km. 2 km is the answer. Option D, 2 km. I think that is also clear. I'll explain. Walking from my home at a speed of 5 km per hour, I am 8 minutes late in reaching my office. If I walk at a speed of 8 km per hour, I reach 5 minutes late. How far is my office from my house? So here the shortest way of doing this is, listen very carefully. First case is 8 minutes late. Second case is 5 minutes late. That means if you consider the two cases, the difference is of 3 minutes. That means by moving at 8 km per hour, I can save 3 minutes. I can save 3 minutes. And that time is what? That time will be the difference between the two cases. Na? Difference between time in two cases. Time taken in two cases. Time taken in two cases you can easily say. First sentence what is saying? Walking from my home at a speed of 5 km per hour. Walking from a speed of 5 km per hour means let x be the distance. How far is my office? That is our question. So let x be the distance. X by 5 will be the time taken for that. Time taken to reach. Distance by speed is equal to time. And the second case is x by 8. Because when he is moving at 8 km per hour, x distance in 8 km per hour speed. So distance by speed. So the difference between these two should be equal to 3 minutes. First time minus second time should be equal to 3 minutes. But remember one thing, this 5 is in kilometer per hour, 8 is in kilometer per hour. So this minute is not okay. You should convert that into hour. 1 minute is 1 by 60 hour. So 3 minutes will be 3 into 1 by 60 or 3 by 60 hour. 3 by 60 equal to, you have to take the LCM here, 40, 8x minus 5x. 8x minus 5x means you can consider this 3 and 60 cancels 20. 40 and 20 cancels 2. So you will get 2 is equal to 3x. 2 is equal to 3x means x is equal to 2 by 3. Question is asking x itself. How far is my office from my house? 2 by 3 kilometer. Option C is the answer. This is the logical way in which you can do. Time difference you are considering. 8 minutes late, 5 minutes late, difference is 3 minutes. Another question similar to the previous question. Brothers Santa and Chris walk to school from their house. The former takes 40 minutes while the latter 30 minutes. One day Santa started 5 minutes earlier than Chris. In how many minutes would Chris overtake Santa? Here also you can logically do this. Listen very carefully. If this is the distance to be covered, let x be the total distance to be covered. Let x be the total distance. That means school to house to school distance. Think from the perspective of Santa, or first we will start from the perspective of, Chris we will start. Chris actually 30 minutes he can cover the total distance, means in 15 minutes he can reach half the position. We are just making an attempt. X distance can be travelled in 30 minutes. So x by 2 distance can be travelled in 15 minutes, half of 30 minutes. But for Santa, 40 minutes are needed to reach half. So to reach half x by 2 distance, Santa needs 20 minutes. Are you understanding? I am fixing the center point or the middle point when they are reaching the half distance, x by 2 distance. Santa will reach at 20 minutes. Chris will reach at 15 minutes. And look at this, one day Santa started 5 minutes early. 5 minutes early means Santa taking 20 minutes is okay because Santa already took 5 minutes. So this 20 is nothing but 5 plus 15. That means by the time Chris reached the center of the halfway down, half distance till the school, Santa will be there. That means Chris can overtake Santa in, a question is asking Chris time in 20 minutes. Are you understanding? How many minutes would Chris overtake? Yeah. How many minutes would Chris overtake Santa means in 15 minutes Chris can overtake. Because by that 15 minutes Santa have reached only the center. Yeah. Santa have taken 5 minutes extra. 5 minutes extra, but that 5 minutes plus 15 minutes Santa will reach here. Chris taking 15 minutes he will reach here. That means at the middle point they will be crossing. Chris and Santa reaches the same point. That is why the answer is option B, 15. This is the fastest way of doing it.